So on the two sides we can see there are plates of bones, one lying in the medial side and the other on the lateral side. The sphenoid bone, it projects the pterygoid plates.
Where is the sphenoid bone?
The sphenoid bone is present here, that goes down and gives pterygoid plates downwards.
This one?
Yeah. The sphenoid bone is like a shape of butterfly, having a trunk in the middle, compressed, and two wings.
This one?
Greater and the lesser wing of the sphenoid. Yeah. This is the trunk of the butterfly, and these are the smaller wing, and the greater wing lies below. This is the greater wing, this is the smaller wing, and this is the trunk. So it projects down the pterygoid plates, and these two pterygoid plates, according to their locations, are termed as medial and lateral pterygoid plates. Any problem? Okay. The medial pterygoid plate is sharp, blade-like. Its posterior edge somewhat roughened, and at the lower part it bears a bony projection. This bony projection is called pterygoid humulus. Pterygoid humulus. This pterygoid humulus gives rise to the attachment of muscle of the soft palate and the deflection of the other muscle from the pterygoid humulus. So the medial pterygoid plate and the lateral pterygoid plate lies on the lateral side, leaving a gap in between these two, and this gap is called pterygoid fossa. So this is lateral pterygoid plate, this is medial pterygoid, this is the pterygoid fossa. The lateral pterygoid plate has got very much importance related to the muscles of mastication. The muscles of mastication, they may arise from its both sides, lateral side and medial side. So the lateral pterygoid plate, it has got again a sharp posterior edge, roughened, and it unites with the medial pterygoid just behind the maxilla. Okay? Now you can see here, below it unites with the maxilla, but above there is a gap.
Is the gap?
There is a gap inside, and that gap is called pterygomaxillary fissure.
Pterygomaxillary fissure.
Pterygomaxillary fissure. This is the gap, and here pterygoid plate fused with the maxilla. Above it is having a gap. This is called pterygomaxillary fissure. This is the site. This is the site where we can reach into the pterygopalatine fossa. Understand?
Pterygopalatine fossa.
Yes, that is being inside. So this is the point where we have parasympathetic ganglia, which is called pterygopalatine ganglion inside. Naturally, we are coming to the lateral side, and the lateral side is comprising.
Foramina over there. So what is the name of point? Foramina.
Yes,
Yeah, inside.
yes.
2 or 3.
Yeah, this is the pterygomaxillary fissure. Please, if you don't want to listen, then you can leave, but don't disturb. Okay. If you have a good idea, then no need. Just go outside, enjoy.
You have to.
Yes. What is the structure which passes through this pterygomaxillary fissure, and which area which you may enter through the pterygomaxillary fissure is the pterygopalatine fossa. Okay? The maxillary artery, the third part, passes through this to form the sphenopalatine artery, which goes through the sphenopalatine foramen into the nose. So from here up to this, 3 parts of the maxillary artery. So this is the continuation here. This is a vertical limb and this is the horizontal limb. This horizontal limb is actually the inferior orbital fissure. You can see here from the orbit side, the inferior orbital fissure.
You can see the eye.
And this here, the vertical side, you can see here, this is the sphenopalatine foramen inside.
Sure, sir.
Can you see?
Yeah. This one.
Where is the sphenopalatine foramen?
Here, معزول. Connecting the nose. Tick.
What is that? What is it? What is it called? What is this called?
Palatine fossa.
What is it called?
Paying attention.
What is this called?
What is this called?
Yeah, I'm asking from you. I want from your side. If anybody talks, then I'll ask question from him. Okay?
Go for it.
Because in this way, the attention of the other students is diverted. This is not fair. This foramen is called sphenopalatine foramen. What is it called? Sphenopalatine foramen. Inside. So this is the inferior orbital fissure, and here on the vertical side, this is sphenopalatine foramen. And if we go on this lateral side, we can see here, this is the sphenoid bone, the greater wing of the sphenoid. This all is the sphenoid bone, the greater wing of sphenoid.
It's per bone.
The greater wing bone.
There is a connection with the zygomatic bone, right?
Yeah, of course. The sphenoid bone has got communication with the zygoma, the temporal bone, okay, and some sort of maxilla also. So the sphenoid bone, and just behind the sphenoid is a depression. You can see here. This is the fossa for the temporomandibular joint. The fossa for articulation of the head condyloid process of the mandible. So this is the fossa, and just behind, if you go on a little bit behind, there is an irregular chip of bone which is called the temporal bone.
This one?
This all, up to this here, all. Here, this, and up to this, temporal bone. So the temporal bone lies behind it, and you can see here, as I told you, that these are the 2 zygomatic arches, which has a gap in between. You see here, these 2 gaps, and these 2 gaps are called the infratemporal fossa or region. So the infratemporal fossa lies below, and it is communicated with the temporal fossa. There is a communication between temporal and the infratemporal fossa bridging by the zygomatic arch. Okay? These 3 fossae are very important related to head and neck. Temporal fossa, infratemporal fossa, pterygopalatine fossa. Now, the petrous part of the temporal bone, you can see here, it has got different parts.
So what do you mean by the petrous part?
Petrous means mountain. You see, if inside, this is just like a mountain. You see the mountain. So the mountainous part of the temporal bone is called petrous part. So the petrous part of temporal bone, what is this projection below? What is it called?
It is part of the temple.
Coming from the what is this projection called? The styloid process. Styloid process. And there is another massive projection, mastoid process. And there is a plate-like bone on the side, which part? The squamous part. So the squamous part of the temporal bone, mastoid process, styloid process, and petrous part of the temporal bone. Okay?
Okay.
Now, from here inside, you can see there are different numerous foramina present. If you see that from the greater wing of the sphenoid, there is an oval foramen. Right from here, this is the site. This oval foramen is called foramen ovale. Foramen ovale. Just behind the foramen ovale is foramen spinosum.
Behind the ovale. What about the sinuses? Is it clear here? Sinuses?
Sinuses of air sinuses or venous sinuses?
Sorry?
No, what you are talking about?
I'm talking about the sinuses. Is it clear in the skull?
Air sinuses.
Air sinuses? Air sinuses. Air sinuses are actually the modified form of diploid. You understand what is diploid? You see, this is the spongy bone.
Okay.
It has got air spaces. In certain areas of skull, these air spaces fuse together to form a major cavity.
Okay.
These are air sinuses. So these air sinuses, they are present behind the frontal bone, here, in the maxilla, in the sphenoid bone, in the ethmoid bone.
Inside the box.
Inside.
And the air
Inside the box.
Air sinuses. Frontal bone, frontal sinus, maxillary sinus, ethmoid, anterior, middle and posterior ethmoid sinus, sphenoid sinus. Okay? Now, here you can see that this foramen ovale, just behind it is another rounded foramen. This is foramen spinosum. And here on the medial side, there is a very zigzag foramen having a zigzag edges. This is called foramen lacerum. Foramen lacerum. What are the names of the foramina? Foramen ovale, spinosum, lacerum. Why it is called ovale? Because it is oval, not rounded. Oval shape. Why it is called foramen lacerum? Because it has got lacerated edges. Lacerated edges. And what is this foramen? Which is present in this one.
Okay.
In the petrous part of the temporal bone, this foramen is called foramen carotid canal. Carotid canal. From